Hi, you normal and hello freshman students from the BSCMT. Welcome back to our YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to discuss the science, technology, and nation building. So sit back, listen, and enjoy learning. And these are the learning outcomes for today's discussion. At the end of this lesson, the student should be able to discuss the role of science and technology in Philippine nation building. Second, discuss the development of science and technology in the Philippines. Third, identify the government policies pertaining to science and technology in terms of their contribution in nation building. Fourth, analyze the development of science education in the Philippines. And lastly, describe the indigenous science and technology in the Philippines. Alright, so let's fasten our seatbelt as we trace back the role of science and technology in nation building.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Now let's begin by knowing the role of science and technology in Philippine nation building. Science and technology are closely linked aspects of society. This may be through the continuous discovery, rediscovery, invention, and innovation of things, the formulation of theories, the application of knowledge generated, and the continual improvement of products and services to satisfy human needs. First, scientific and technological discoveries, inventions, and innovations brought about the growth of industry and enterprise that eventually led to the rise of the city. This advancement has revolutionized Filipinos' human life. People have adapted themselves to modern time condition, needs, style, and ways in general. This only indicates a change in people's attitudes, food habits, dress, speaking style, choices, preferences, recreational activities, and so on, according to Charon in 2005. To a certain extent, it has provided an impetus, a faster growth, and more efficient development. Secondly, outputs in the study of science and technology include more, new, improved, and rapidly produced products to meet the demands of the people. These products include pharmaceuticals, electronic equipment, softwares, hardwares, food, clothes and apparels, hospital facilities, school and office equipment and supplies, communication equipment and devices, motor vehicle, and many others. They reach the market at an unprecedented rate. The ultimate goal is to address the interests and needs of the people from all walks of life. As many use to purchase their goods circulate, taxes imposed on them are also collected. These collected in turn are used to augment the funds needed by the government to support the social, economic programs, projects, or even activities. Thirdly, science and technology have also contributed to building the nation by providing a driving force to the computer and information and communication technology, or ICT. The development of World Wide Web is an innermost information base from which information from all over the world are stored efficiently and can be retrieved readily by means of research engines. The Internet and excellent communication platforms and cellular phones have increased the speed of exchange and use of information. rapid and continuous improvement in the country's ICT processes, systems, and techniques, as well as the efficient market strategies, give this kind of business the competitive edge. Another important benefit of science and technology is the discovery, development, and promotion of various kinds of medicines, including antibiotics and vaccines, for prevention, treatment, and cure of the different diseases. Scientific discoveries and technology innovations have made life easier. Human efforts is reduced as a result of the mechanization and automation of industrial processes. This affirms Alvin Toffler's theory about transformation of the first wave technologies to the third wave science-based technologies. Now let us study the difference between mechanization and automation. Mechanization refers to the replacement of human power with the mechanical powers of some forms. Machines have replaced humans in performing certain tasks. For instance, in public works, conveyors, bulldozers, and cranes are used to transfer heavy loads from one place to another. In agriculture, tractors and other farm equipment improve production efficient and the quality of farm produce. And we also have in business, office machines and equipments like photocopy machine and fax machine desktop help human brains to efficiently manage the office operations. On the other hand, automation is a replacement of human thinking with a computer and machines. The following instance show the benefits of automation. First, a robot performs house chores to ease the housewife's burden of keeping the house. Second, automated hiring and recruitment tools such as Mia, Smashfly, and Breezy HR. Use of artificial intelligence to read through applications at amazing speed significantly reduce the time to accelerate the screening process and to quickly identify the best candidates from the thousands of applicants. In meeting, automated tools like Team help streamlines face-to-face meeting. They provide automated office lobby display to let visitors and customers know when they are up and help direct meeting participants to the right room. Fourth, filing out online forms and entering payments information is fast, secure, and easy with automation tools like LastPass and RoboForms. And lastly, automated tools like DocuSign and HelloSign enable fast sending and signing important documents. Now let us discuss the significant role of science and technology in Philippine nation-building. It is summarized by Secretary Fortunato de la Peña in 2017 of the Department of Science and Technology or DOST in the following statement. Research and development activities of the DOST has always been at the forefront of the initiative since they are meant to give the country's new source of income and promote sustainable development. Key areas being targeted are health, energy, and emerging technologies, disaster risk reduction, and national integrated research agenda. The department values its institutional partners since private firms have the hardware and industrial knowledge on research and development. These institutional partners are given incentives when participating in government-funded research. Companies are given right to the first refusal for licensing right and can even have a top pick from graduating scholars who previously worked in the research and development programs. Academic institutions are also key partners in the DOST goal of making breakthrough discoveries in the field of research and development. Over 30 academic institutions are registered in the top class LUNA centers as a way of harnessing the collective resource and knowledge of the academe in finding the next medical breakthrough with the help of the country's biodiversity. One notable success story related to this is UP Manila's research in the use of lagundi leaves as an effective remedy for cough. At this day, the university is still reaping license fees from this research. The development of the Philippine Space Program is one of the DOST's top priority programs. Recently, the Philippines launched its own microsatellites, the Diwata-1, and is scheduled to launch a Diwata-2 as follow-up. The department is also in partnership with the country's space program and satellites for visual imaging and weather patterns forecasting. The goal of the space program is to give the Philippines into 21st century by developing cutting-edge technologies born out of the challenges of spaceflight and space observation. This will also have an outstanding effect on the improvement of Pegasus meteorological technology. One major reason for continuous advancement in the field of meteorological studies is their drive for the risk reduction and mitigation for natural calamities. Food security had always been a looming threat, especially for the third world countries such as the Philippines. With over 60% of the population living the poverty line, creating a self-sustaining food ecology and economy is becoming important now more than ever. Post-wars, the Philippines was one of the best producing countries in the Southeast Asia. However, the Philippines now lag behind the countries like Thailand, Vietnam, and even Cambodia. The DOST's focus on the agriculture, aquaculture, and forestry programs aims to elevate the needs of the important food and increase local yield to satisfy local demands. Sustainable developments in this arena will help lower commodity prices and stimulate the local farming economy. Lastly, the DOST hard at work to increase the number of science and engineering graduates in the country. In partnership with the academe and private institutions, the DOST aims to produce more scholars specializing in science and technology-related courses to elevate the level of work being done in the Philippines. As one of the moment, 95% of the manufacturing activities in the Philippines account for the fabrication, raw materials processing, and general manufacturing. Research and development activities are mostly diverted to regional plants and rarely to Philippine operations, creating opportunities and partnership where research and development activities are funded or incentives by the government will help boost economic activities in this area. On the surface, the Philippines look like tourist destination with little to offer in terms of commerce, much less for science and technology. The DOST aims to transform this image of the Philippines and leverage its geographic location by making the country a center of scientific activities and excellence. These little projects will add up to the bigger and bigger discoveries, which will helpfully one day make the Philippines a scientific and technological hub like our neighbors Japan, South Korea, and China. The association between science and technology and nation building cannot be denied. Thus, effort on improving the Filipino students' competence these areas need to be accelerated if the country wants to be competitive. In conclusion, science and technology undoubtedly plays an important role in the development of society. They are considered pillars of the economic progress and development. They have determined technical processes, economic system, and social structures. They have also influenced the everyday life of the people. In order to enjoy the full benefit of science and technology, it is necessary that the Filipino people, regardless of the socio-economic and political background, should embrace strong science and technology programs to link science and technology with daily life experience and culture. Now let us move on to the development of science and technology in the Philippines. According to Cowley in 1986, in her paper entitled The History of Science and Technology in the Philippines, cited that the science and technology in the Philippines have been greatly influenced by the historical experience as a colony of Spain and of United States. The colonial policies, particularly those on economic development and external trades, have fostered a primarily agricultural export-oriented economy dependent on the outside world of market for its product and source of manufactured goods. This has led to the neglect and lack of support for industrialization. He also mentioned that there is a need for the government to critically re-examine an interrelation between education and science policies with those of its economic development policies to attain a strong, self-resilient economy and society. A well-developed national science and technology is a critical factor in achievement of the goal. The 1987 Philippine Constitution, under Section 10, Article 15, provides the legal basis in this regard. The provision: science and technology are essential for national development and progress. The state shall give priority to research and development, invention, innovation, and their utilizations, and to science and technology, education, training, and services. Period. It shall support indigenous, appropriate, and self-reliant scientific and technological capabilities and their application. This provision affirms the government plan's goal and effort in building the nation through more relevant science and technology programs, projects, and activities. Now let us move on to the development of science and technology in the Philippines. The development of progress of science and technology in the Philippines can be analyzed and appreciated by looking into the nation's history. Now let us start with the pre-Spanish period. Archaeological excavation in the Philippines on different sites yielding pieces of evidences of early Filipinos' knowledge of science and technology. Their surviving tools, which were primarily used for hunting, consisted of crude choppers made from flint, quartz, chalcedony, and igneous rock. They engaged in pottery, artifacts of which were the burial jars and stone stool assemblage found in Batu Caves, Sorsogon in 1956. The Calatagan ritual pot found in Calatagan, Batangas in 1958. The Manungol burial jar found in Manungol Caves in Lipun Point, Palawan sometimes from 1962 to 1965. A steam cup and footed jarlet found in the Leta Leta cave, northern Palawan in 1965. The Maitum anthropomorphic burial jar in Ayub Cave, Pinol, Maitum, Sarangani Province in 1991. A blue and white dish with flying elephant design found in the Lena Saul wreck site in Palawan in 1997, and the Laguna copper plate inscription found near the mouth of Laguna's Lagubang River in 1986. The National Museum, through the Anton Posma, a Dutch national who was then the director of the Mangan Assistance and Research Center, found out that the language used in the inscription was a combination of Old Tagalog and Old Javanese, Old Malay, and Sanskrit. Science was evident in the early settlers' ability to determine the right time and season for farming, for fishing, for hunting, for mining, and for performing daily tasks. They observed correct measurement and counting, as well as followed correct procedures in tool making, in weaving, in building house, in shipbuilding, in domesticating animals, in cooking, in selecting good seeds for farming, and in the use of therapeutic herbs to treat the sick. Meanwhile, traditional technology was shown in their ability to process food production, to build permanent settlements, and to make metal tools, weapons, art craft, musical instruments, jewelries, and ceramics. They developed weaving patterns, planned and executed war techniques against rival tribes, developed trading system known as the barter, with local and foreign traders and entrepreneurs, and practiced certain farming systems such as Kaingin system and the construction of graduated terrace steps commonly used to farm. More evident were these irrigated rice terraces that were carved in the mountains and hills of those in the Cordilleras. Now let's proceed to the Spanish colonial period. The Spaniards ruled the country from 1521 to 1898 with stern authority. They imposed upon natives the talents or tenets of Christianity, especially Roman Catholicism. One good benefit, however, of this action was the establishment of schools. During this time, science was embedded in the free formal primary education in the island and much later in high schools, colleges, and universities. Through the powerful religion orders, including the friars of Augustinian, Dominican, and Franciscan orders, strongly opposed the teaching of scientific and technical subjects to the Indios. Many Filipino intellectuals like Jose P. Rizal, Graciano Lopez Haina, Marcelo H. del Pilar, Mariano Ponce, and Antonio Luna pursued higher learning in the prestigious university in the country and Europe. Rizal himself was an abdominant of great, versatile scientists and technologists. The growth of technology was likewise considerable under the Spanish rule. A trading system was developed whereby Spanish trading ships, known as the Manila Galleons, were used for 2.5 centuries linking trades, and the Filipino learned and adopted new ideas, better trading methods and operation, cultural practices, new products. The field of engineering thought that they build many infrastructure projects such as government building, churches, forts, roads and bridges and railroad from Manila to Dagupan line. Generally, the Filipinos under the Spanish rule improved the technical skills in various technologies: engineering technology, farming technology, mining technology, food technology, textile and garment technology, industrial technology, public work technology, and others. Though limited in certain ways, these technologies were all contributory of creation of jobs for the people, providing them with growing incomes and thus better living conditions, sustaining their needs and protecting their basic interests and human rights. In sum, despite of the oppressive rule during the Spanish colonial period, the Philippines come out victorious in terms of the socio-economic developments and better quality of life. Soon, the Philippines gradually rose from a state of ignominy to become one of the recognized developing nations in Southeast Asia. Now let us have American regime and post-Commonwealth period. After their victory against the Spaniards in the 1898 Spanish-American War, the Americans ruled the country up to 1946 when United States of America declared Philippine independence on the 4th of July. Amazingly, science and technology become more significant key drivers to development in the country under American rule. With free trade policy with the US, free public education for all, and technology becomes more significant key drivers to develop in the countries under the American rule. With free trade policy with the US, free public education for all and inspired by the principle of democracy, many Filipinos were inspired to pursue greater heights in various areas of learning: engineering, education, medicine, industrial technology, forestry, pharmacy, food technology, and among others. During this period, science and technology were modernized and prioritized than the Spanish period. Scientific and technological revolution laid stronger foundations for economic advances. Transportations and communication system and facilities were improved. Mining resources were discovered and analyzed. Sanitation and health were ensured. Education, business industrial expanded. Research institute and laboratories were opened. The emergence of the above-mentioned developments along science and technology generated a strong, peaceful, and friendly relationship between Filipino and Americans. Oblivious of the impact, it is also created exceptional American influence on Filipino ways of life. Since then, the impact have been evident in Filipino patronizing American products. The impact have been equally felt in the social aspect of the Philippines' colonial life. Through education, developments in science and technology in the country have been instrument in the upward social mobility. Many Filipino who had chance to acquire higher education, although they belong to the families of modest means, were able to work in the middle and upper echelons of the government to perform certain tasks and jobs that only qualified and responsible scientists and technologists can be achieved. And then we also have Japanese regime. The Japanese-sponsored Philippine Republic was inaugurated on October 14, 1943, ruled the country until 1945 with the end of World War II. As a result of the war, a military form of government enforced order by implementing curfew strictly and punishing the anti-Japanese rebels. The turn of events through tough and bitter was instrumental in the empowering of the Filipino, particularly those who joined the underground guerrillas movement. They manifested their scientific and technological prowess in the fight of freedom from the Japanese abuses and oppressions. They were scientific in the sense that they were managed to organize human resource to support and fight for their cause. They were able to set goals and objectives as their guide in their plans and actions. They developed good qualities like those of the responsible scientist, such as a keen sense of observations, critical thinking, paying particularly attention, persistence to circumstances and events surrounding them, and being evaluating the careful before making conclusive judgment. Likewise, technology was rooted in the system, techniques, kind of crops, and their daily living. They used underground paper, typewritten, or mimegraph to disseminate information. They improvised metal tools and weapons, but many were sourced from the American allies. Those who did not join the guerrillas attended trainings and different types of livelihood that were taught in vocational schools built by the Japanese. Also, a good number of Filipinos engaged in food production, industries, and factories, and continued the operation but under the strict control of Japanese authorities. Buy and sell business technology was also encouraged. Amidst the turmoil under the Japanese military rule, the Filipino remained resilient and steadfast in the faith that they would overcome. With renewed strength after the fall of Japan in 1945, the people were confident that a brighter future awaits, for indeed, at the end of the dark tunnel would be the light of hope for a better life. And now we are down to the period of independent republic. The Philippines gained independence on July 4, 1946 with Emmanuel Rojas as the first elected president. The National Science Development Board was established in 1958 to oversee the science and technology status, programs, and projects in the country. Republic Act No. 2067, also known as the Science Act of 1958, was enacted, enabling the state to promote scientific and technological research and development, foster invention, and utilize scientific knowledge as a scientific instrument for the promotion of national progress. During the term of President Ferdinand Marcos, he revitalized the science course in public high school. He directed the Department of Education, together with the National Science Development Board, to organize a project to provide selected high schools with science teaching equipment over 4-year education or 4-year period. He funded projects in applied science and science education. Now, let's get to know the different achievements in science and technology during the Marcos government. First, scientists were sent abroad to study science and technology. Second, scientists, doctors, engineers, technicians, and science teachers were given basic training. Third, development projects include research and development schools, technical institute, science education center, and agricultural colleges and vocational high schools. Fourth, the National Grain Authority was created to provide for the development of rice and corn industry. Fifth, the Philippine Council for Agricultural Research was created to support the progressive development of agriculture, forestry, and fishery for the nation. 6. Scientific research and innovation was promoted and intellectual property for the creator or publisher of the work was protected. 7. The Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical, and Astronomical Services Administration or PAGASA was established to provide environmental protection and to utilize scientific knowledge to ensure the safety of the people. 8. The Philippine National Oil Company was created to promote industrial and economic development through effective and efficient use of energy resource. 9. The National Academy of Science and Technology composed of scientists were established to serve as a reservoir of scientific and technological expertise for the country. 10th. The National Science Development Board was restructured as the National Science and Technology Authority to provide central direction and coordination of scientific and technological research and development. And lastly, Mindanao and Visayas campuses of the Philippine Science High School were established to create careers in science and technology in those areas. In 1987, President Corazon Aquino signed the executive order elevating National Science and Technology Authority to cabinet levels and reorganized it as the Department of Science and Technology or DOST. This act was response to the increasing demands for science and technology interventions in the national development. Today, the DOST is the premier science and technology body in the country, charged with the twin mandate of providing central direction, leadership, and coordination of all scientific and technological activities, and of formulating policies, programs, and projects to support national development guided by the principle expressed in the 1987 Philippine Constitution. The DOST now has instituted the following scientific and technological services. First is the Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical, and Astronomical Services Administration or PAGASA. Second, Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology or PhilVox. Third, Philippine Science High School System. Fourth, Science and Technology Information Institute. Fifth, Science Education Institute. 6. Technology Application and Promotion Institute or TAP. And lastly, Technology Resource Center or TRC. Through the years after the martial law rule in the country, there were noticeable improvements regarding science and technology such as, but not limited to, the following. The Free Public Secondary Education Act of 1988 or also known as the RA 6655 provide free education up to all secondary level and implemented the Science for the Masses program, which aimed at the scientific and technological literacy among Filipinos. Second, increase in the number of competent scientists and engineers to man science and technology centers. Third, scholarship for students who were taking up professional related to science and technology. Fourth, investment on critical infrastructure and enabling tools such as Doppler radars to address disaster risk. Fifth, establishment of upgrading of the 5 Center of Excellence by 2020 in biotechnology, nanotechnology, genomics, semiconductors, and electronic design. 6. Assistance to Filipino inventors through financial aid, patent application assistance, legal assistance, and 4. Commercialization and pilot production of their invention under the Invention-Based Enterprise Development Program of the DOST TAPI. And lastly, enactment and important law related to science and technology, including the following among others: Magna Carta for Science and Technology Personnel, Republic Act No. 8439. The Science and Technology Scholarship Law of 1994, also known as the Republic Act No. 7687. The Inventors and Inventions Incentives Act, or also known as the Republic Act No. 7459. The Intellectual Property Code of the Philippines, or also known as the Republic Act No. 8293. And we also have Philippine Clean Air Act of 1999, Republic Act No. 8749, and lastly, Electronic Commerce Act of 2000, also known as the Republic Act of 1892, as well as the Biofuels Act, or also known as the RA 9367. Notwithstanding the negative attributes to the Philippine history, the development of science and technology has affected significantly the growth and progress of the country. The emergence of modern science and the adoption of new technologies and innovation marked the transition from nation's agricultural base to globally competitive industry-based economy and generally improves in the living standard. Now let us proceed to the Philippine Government Science and Technology Agenda. The Department of Science and Technology, or DOST, was established on January 30, 1987 by the virtue of Executive Order 128 signed by the former President Corazon Aquino. It is the country's principal body tasked to direct, to lead, and to coordinate all science and technology-related programs and projects in support to national development. This department endeavors to achieve valuable contributions in providing better, smarter, and inexpensive solutions to address major national concerns to attain maximum economic and social benefits for people. Its functions are supported by scientific or specific policies to recognize the vital role of science and technology in improving the lives of Filipinos, whenever and wherever they may be. Now, here are some important government policies pertaining to science and technology in terms of their contributions to nation building. First, we have the Republic Act 6969, or Toxic Substances and Hazardous and Nuclear Waste Control Act of 1990. This act aims to provide for the improvement or regulation of all chemical substances that may be pose threat to public health and environment through important manufacture, sale, use, distribution, and disposal, as well as the regulation of all hazardous waste from the generation, transplant, storage, reuse or recycling, treatment, and disposal. And of course, we also have the Public Act No. 7305, or the Magna Carta of Public Health Workers. This law aims to promote the social economic well-being of the health workers, their living and working conditions and terms of employment. Also, it aims to develop their skills and capabilities in order that they will be more responsive and better equipped with deliver health programs and projects. And of course, we also have the Republic Act 8293, or also known as the Act of Providing the Intellectual Property Code and establishing the Intellectual Property Office, providing for its power and function, and for their other purposes. This is otherwise known as the Intellectual Property Code of the Philippines. Example of intellectual property: utility patent for machines, devices, and composite materials, as well as new and useful processes, design patent for the ornamental design or manufactured products, plant patents for new varieties of plants. And then we also have Republic Act No. 8749 or the Clean Air Act. This act provides a comprehensive and complex regulatory framework for regulating stationary and mobile sources of air pollution. It requires the Environmental Protection Agency or EPA to establish minimum national standards for air quality and assign primary responsibility for enforcement and compliance to the states. Also, it sets safety standards for factories where toxic chemicals were used or emitted and required polluters to install the best available pollutant control equipment. We will also have Republic Act No. 10055 of the Philippine Technology Transfer Act of 2009. This act provides a framework and support system for the ownership, management, use, and commercialization of intellectual property generated from research and development funded by the government and for other purposes. We also have Republic Act No. 10532 or the Act of Institutionalizing the Philippine National Health Research System. This act aims to provide health status, productivity, and quality of life of Filipino by ensuring the health research in link to the health system needs. Second, ensuring that investment in health research yield the most benefit. Third, promoting good governance among health research organizations through efficient, effective, transparent, and ethical health research management system. And lastly, engaging in national and international partnership and network for health research development and ensuring sustainability of resource for health research. And there will also have Republic Act No. 10535 or the Philippine Standard Time Act of 2013. This act aims to set the Philippine Standard Time in all official sources throughout the country to provide funds for the installation, operation, and maintenance of synchronized time devices to display in the key public places and to declare the first week of every year as National Time Consciousness Week. And then we also have Republic Act No. 10612 or the Fast Track Science and Technology Scholarship Act of 2013. This is an act that expands the coverage of the science and technology scholarship programs and strengthens the teaching of science and mathematics in secondary schools. And lastly, we have the Republic Act No. 11035 or the Balik Scientists Act. This law provides returning Filipino experts, scientists, inventors, and engineers incentive and compensation. For example, tax and duty exemptions in the import of professional equipment and materials, free medical and accident insurance, exemption from announcing their oath of allegiance to the country where they took the oath. At present, to fulfill its mandate, the DOST is guided by the Philippine Development Plan 2017 to 2022 vision. This vision states that the Philippines by 2040, matatag, maginhawa, at mapanatag na buhay. The country is prosperous middle-class society where there is no one is poor. People live a long and healthy lives and more smart and innovative. The Philippines is a high-trust society where families thrive in vibrant, culturally diverse, and resilient community. The vision implies the idea that human development of Filipinos is a process of expanding people's choices or enabling them to uphold their capabilities so that they live fully as human beings. It entails laying down the foundation for more inclusive growth, a high-trust and resilient society, and globally competitive knowledge economy. Now we are down to the major science and technology development programs. The DOS is responsible for the implementation of science, technology, innovation development programs. These programs conforms the Harmonized National Research and Development Agenda of 2017 to 2022 approved by the National Economic Development Authority or NEDA on August 30, 2017. The agenda attempts to provide more details on how the country can become technologically self-resilient to sustain science and technology. It focuses on the research and development areas such as health, agriculture, aquatic and natural resources, industry, energy, and emerging technology, disaster risk reduction, climate change adaptation, and basic research. The following are some major science and technology development programs of the government. First, we have research and development assistance. At present, the DOST assists more than 1,000 research and development projects all over the country. In 2017, 65% was completed. To date, 1,057 research development projects are being managed by the science-attached agencies and councils such as the Philippine Council for Industry, Energy and Emerging Technology Research and Development, and the Philippine Council for Health Research and Development. In terms of technology transfer, the DOST Technology Application and Promotion Institute guides the investors regarding the intellectual property system. The agency also provides them with a patent consultation as well as the grant for the payment of intellectual property office fees. In 2017, the DOST reorganized or organized 30 technology affairs, 3 technology transfer days that showcased locally developed DOST-assisted technologies inventions. Also, 165 patents were filed at the IPO, 17 inventions were promoted and are ready for commercialization. And they will also have assistance to micro, small, medium enterprises. The DOST provides hardware and software to upgrade the technology capacity of selected micro, small, medium enterprise. In 2017, 574 micro, small, medium enterprises have received the Set-Up or Small Enterprise Technology Upgrading Program. Innovation Funds Set-Up is a DOST or DOST program that encourages micro, small, medium enterprise to adopt technological innovations to improve their products and services, as well as their competitiveness by providing them loans payable in 3 years. Likewise, the DOST help the start-up of small, medium, as well as micro enterprise through the on-store or website of their products are displayed that can be purchased. About 400 startups have been assisted and almost 11,000 products have been uploaded in the website in 2017. And we also have food and nutrition development. The government continues to implement its malnutrition reduction program or MRP to address malnutrition, particularly in poor areas of the country. The DOST Food and Nutrition Research Institute developed various nutritional food products to address micronutrient deficiencies and undernutrition among children. In this regard, science and technology innovation researchers are assisted to work on the application of new technologies for drying fruit mix and veggie pack using low temperature and low humidity in compliance with the research and development on food products innovation. Moreover, DOST conducts capacity building trainings to ensure world-class and ISO accredited food and nutritional laboratories and food innovation centers. And then we also have R&D Human Resource Development. In its bid to develop and boost the country's human resource and research and development capabilities, the DOST worked closely with the Commission of Higher Education or CHED in providing scholarship and trainings program to deserving students who pursue science, technology, innovations related to baccalaureate degrees, Masters of Science, and PhDs. This is in line with the DOST's plan to develop and achieve higher standard of science, technology, innovation, human resource, produce critical mass of globally competitive scientists, researchers, and engineers, and build a strong science, technology, innovation culture. As of December 2018, there are 36,772 DOS scholars. The scholars are encouraged to write thesis and dissertation along DOS's priority areas, namely agriculture, fishery and forestry, semiconductor and electronics, agri-processing, integrated circuit design, renewable energy, creative industry, information and communication technology and artificial intelligence, industry waste treatment, food and nutrition, infrastructure and logistics, manufacturing and environmental and climate change. Further, the DOST plans to expand its research and development pool by establishing new research center. In this connection, the DOST urge industry-academe partnership for research and development in every region by providing research grants and technical assistance in the HEIs and, of course, industry partners. The DOST look forward to achieving its goal to accelerate technology transfer. We also have weather forecasting development. To further improve weather forecasting capabilities and disaster risk reduction in the country, the DOST works for the purchase of modern equipment and for the improvement of old facilities. The government needs Doppler radars and X-band radars that can be measured the rain volume as well as flood forecasting and warning centers. This development contributes to increase more efficient and more accurate forecast track. The Doppler radars are located in Iloilo, Palawan, Buuan, Subic, Tagaytay, Mactan, Hinatuan, Tampakan, Basco, Zamboanga, Apari, Virac, and Baguio. On the other hand, the 3X band radars are in Quezon City, Mindanao, and Baler. Meanwhile, despite the effectiveness and efficiency of Project NOAA, or Nationwide Operation Assessment of Hazards, in dealing with the disasters, the government continues its effort to provide the country's disaster prevention and mitigation system. Project NOAA is an integrated flood early warning system in communities along 18 river system in the country. In addition to NOAA, the DOST endeavors the development better programs, projects to save more lives and properties when calamities strike, particularly those at risk areas. And these are the references that I may use for this topic. Alright, so that's the end of our presentation. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you have learned something to this topic. Now, I have a bonus point for you. If you can answer this in the comment section, you will gain 10 points credit for your class standing. Now here's the question. What is your reaction in this statement? The government policies have contributed to the nation building. Again, give your reaction to this statement. The government policies have contributed to the nation building. Don't miss the bonus point. Let's see your answers in the comment section. Good luck! Thank you for learning with Thank you for learning with me today. But please don't forget to click the like button and subscribe. See you on my next discussion. Goodbye.